Hello, everybody. Welcome to another episode of Jupiter's Crock here on the Outpost Unknown YouTube channel. My name is Matthew, joined once again by Ronan and Frankie.
Let's do this.
Oh, you son of a bitch. Is this going to be the running gag? Is this what you're going to do every single time?
I should. That'll give me a good excuse to keep buying nerd clusters or nerd rope.
Jealous. I'm
They're
very
so bad.
jealous.
They're so bad. And Plodicus himself, Steve.
I'm here, ready to talk about this fantastic episode.
Yeah. Now we are on episode 6 of Spartacus House of ASHUR. This is called Empty Things, I believe, is the name of this episode. Just want to throw a huge shout out to everybody that's been watching this show. Our watch time are skyrocketing. It's either that people are really interested in House of ASHUR, or they're just really happy that Ronan's finally on camera, and like the whole internet is coming to watch or something like that. So
It's the dog. It's always the dog.
always the dog, yeah. So last week, Plodicus, where did we kind of end last week?
I don't remember. I've already had to delete that part of my brain to remember the new
Achillia,
episodes. You guys
You
can't.
don't remember the arena, Steve?
Achillia in her hand. Achillia won. She, the goddess of death, miraculously won in the arena. She is now the champion of the House of ASHUR. She falls sort of unconscious at the very end, and we're kind of left with, geez, what's going to happen? Yeah. I want to get right into this. So, Plodicus, take it away, because this is quite the episode in my opinion.
So Achilles is fucked. So they drag her in on a stretcher. Caesar's gone, by the way. We don't see Caesar in this episode, so he's that actor has fulfilled his presumably 1 episode contract, unless he comes
1
back
to
later.
2 episode fulfillment.
Yeah.
So Achilles is dragged into into the ludus. She is unconscious. She occasionally stops being unconscious to scream before resuming unconsciousness. And so
This is good though, because she's in a bad state, and I
yes.
like that in this episode they didn't make it so like, oh, okay, she's miraculously like okay.
I never expected a miraculous recovery,
She's like,
they didn't even do that for Crixus in the original series. I was expecting this injury to plague her for a little while.
oh, it's gonna last for a while.
Yeah. So she's get stabilized, and the Medicus comes out, and Asher and Chorus are like standing on the edge of the ludus, and they're talking about what's going on. And Asher he has some great line where he's like, they won the tournament just for Achilles to die, so he's like, the gods offer me favor with one hand and shove fist and ass with the other. Some incredible Spartacus line.
Very Badiata.
Yes, we refer to that as Kermiting, but
the gods are going to Kermit Asher. So the Medicus comes out, and the Medicus is like, well, she's been stabilized, but we're going to chop her hand off before the infections get her. Infections didn't exist in the original Spartacus series, but they exist now. And
I kind of called this in our Discord chat. I was like, in the really real world, she would have a horrible infection and they'd have to cut it off. But this is Spartacus.
In Spartacus season 1, then Crixus would have needed like a stomachectomy, I guess, because his intestines were spilling out, and they just rubbed some grease on it and cured that.
Crixus is so badass that even infections won't fight him, Steve. They just back off from the glory that is man of
until the vengeance season, where he loses every fight that he's in.
We don't talk about that.
That didn't happen. And for all we know, it didn't happen.
Undefeated goal, running.
We have no idea.
Undefeated goal.
But the Medicus comes out, and he's like, the hand's got to go. And Asher's like, are you fucking serious? Like, Crixus broke my leg. Crixus broke my leg and set me on fire, and I was fine.
Name drop. Loved it.
He's like, I was fine. Broke my leg, set me on fire.
Which is a good point. Yeah, which is a good point within the realm of this show. What the way that Crixus like maimed Asher, it's like, yeah, in the really real world, even in our world, modern day, that might have cost him his fucking leg below the knee, but he kept it. Now he's able to walk around and beat everybody up just fine.
Well, so Asher tells him this, like, look, Crixus maimed me, broke my leg, set me on fire, and I am fine. The Badiatus' Medicus healed me. And this Medicus is like, well, present the guy, and maybe he'll do a fucking better job. And Asher pauses, and he gets this look in his face, and he's like, He sadly died when in the Spartacus rebellion. Give him my regards, and just throws Medicus off of the cliff. It is. I really mean this. It was brilliant.
Morris is also just so kind of like, that wasn't very smart. He's so used to ASHUR just killing people on a whim at this point. It's starting to not affect him. He's just like, that wasn't smart.
He even mentions it later on, which we'll get to. And he's like, dude, this guy is nuts. So now, course is fantastic there. Where I love when ASHUR like exits the scene, and it just lingers on Chorus's face, and he kind of like rolls his eyes, like, "Oh my god, like, what am I doing here? Like, what am I doing here?"
Yeah. So after this, there's two things that happen. One, ASHUR goes to take a bath, and he finds Cornelia, and once again, Stephen the Knight's like, honey, baby, it's Please really important for you to once again get finger blasted by some hot chicks in this scene. I know I'm not taking any joy in this. Like, do it for the art, honey. And she's like, you got it, husband.
What a lucky man Stephen Dene is. Healthy is all I'll say. Although I will point out that last week I said, hey, she had like a weird nipple thing on, like covering a nipple. Is Stephen Knight actually going to let his wife get naked in this? And
that question is answered.
Well, it's like he heard what
minus the standard issued Spartacus merkin. Yes, he allowed her to get naked in this.
Yes. All the Spartacus girls have merkins, which is fine.
But I'm just like, merkin.
Yeah, it's like, okay, well, tip my hat to you. Mr. Knight.
Well done, Stephen the Knight. Anyway, so Cornelia is like a big thorn in ASHUR's side throughout this episode. So she stole ASHUR's bath. Messia is very much Team Cornelia. She is just happy to have someone to answer to that Hilara isn't in the good graces of. And I think later on Hilara like confronts Messia. It's like, you happily follow Cornelia, and Messia's like, yeah, damn right I do. What you gonna fucking do about it? So the Messia and Hilara stuff, that relationship continues to deteriorate.
It's getting messy.
Yep.
So where the other thing that happens immediately after this is where's the new Medicus going to come from? And ASHUR's like, hey, Chorus, like, you're still, you and Operator still kind of have a relationship, right? Like, let's go ask Operator for his Medicus. And Chorus does that.
He's like, hell yeah.
Yeah,
let's go see Operator. Yeah, sure.
This is a great plan.
He goes to Operator, and Operator. There's a lot that happens here. He gives him the Medicus first and foremost, but it's obvious that Operator's like, yeah, you can just keep the Medicus. I don't need him anymore. Of course, it's like, what the fuck do you mean you don't need him anymore? And Operator says, I'm leaving. And of course, is like, what the fuck? Like, why are you leaving? Why didn't you let me know? And Operator's like, I don't owe you shit. Like, this is we're not actually in a relationship yet. But Chorus asks him like, why are you leaving? And Operator's like, are you really? Like, fucking Caesar's trying to kill me. And Chorus is like, why? Why does Caesar want anything to do with you? And the Operator's like, because I helped him set up the attack on Cosudia and Verdia. And Chorus is like, you did the fuck what? And Operator genuinely thought that Chorus knew all this. He thought Chorus was in on this, and he reveals it. Like, Chorus is like, no, I had no fucking idea. And so Chorus
Nobody
is
told me.
Nope. Yeah, and so later on, we're going to see a scene where Chorus confronts ASHUR with this. But first, he gets the Medicus, and the Medicus only speaks Greek, and no one in the house of ASHUR speaks Greek. So
I don't speak Greek, you fuck!
So, did it occur to you to ask if he spoke common fucking tongue before bringing him here? And Chorus is like, oddly enough, no, I didn't think to ask. It's like, I just assumed that you did.
We're in this position because I didn't ask, clearly.
Yeah.
God. Fuck.
Medicus, what am I supposed to find one that speaks common tongue? You wanted one, I got you one.
You told me to find a Medicus. You specifically told me to go and get Operator's Medicus. That's it. That's all the instructions that I had. So the Medicus is there, and the Medicus is yelling at them in Greek. And Chorus and ASHUR and Chorus are like, we don't understand. Finally, the Medicus remembers the one common tongue common tongue word that he knows, which is fuck, and just like fuck.
Warning.
I love this new Medicus. I
So
hope
funny.
he continues to be in the rest of these series because he with the limited dialogue that he gets that we can understand, he is fucking fantastic, and
Yeah.
I love his mannerisms.
I'm actually
throughout this
curious to
episode.
what he's saying this entire time. Like, I almost kind of want subtitles. Like,
Yeah,
what is
I
he
was-
saying during
I
all
was
of this?
wishing, I was wanting that too.
I think it's more fun to not know. So anyways, after this, Chorus goes to sometime after this. Chorus goes to Asher, and Chorus brings up, Operator's leaving because Caesar is trying to kill him because of the plot that happened. Do you want to, Asher? Do you want to explain what happened? And Asher's like, I didn't fucking know either.
Well, first he's like, "What?
Yeah,
What's
at first
up?"
Asher is surprised that he knows. Like, how did
Yeah.
Operator know this? And then that's how Chorus knows. Like, oh, okay, so it is true.
Yeah. So everyone, this just shows like Caesar is like out scheming Asher at this point because Asher had like no idea that Operator was in on it. Chorus had no idea that Operator was in on it. Chorus had no idea that Asher like eventually knew about this. Caesar is at the top and everyone is under him right now. But it comes out. So Asher and Chorus, like they understand that they've both been played here. Neither of them knew anything about this plot. Asher eventually learned of it, and Chorus is like, "Why didn't you fucking tell me?" And Asher's like, "When I want you to know my thoughts, I'll fucking tell you."
Yeah.
And
Like
so
he grabs him by like Chorus grabs him by the arm and is like, "Why didn't you tell me?" There's a moment there, like, are these guys going to throw down like right now? I was like, are you going to throw down? But interesting dynamic. It comes full circle at the end as well.
Yes.
When they're we'll get
so
there.
so the and Chorus doesn't fight back. Chorus accepts that Asher genuinely didn't know that every player in this except for like Caesar was in the dark about what everyone else is doing. So that they're good on that front, but the relationship between them is real fucking icy right now. Eventually it'll get better later in the episode. But so what are they going to do about Achillia? Something that happens early in the episode is Hilara is like, "Hey, look, we got all these messages. All of these various rich people want to meet Achillia. They want to do an autograph signing." And
with her chopped up hand,
With their weird, grievous hand.
Yeah.
So what can Asher do? Asher tells Cornelia, just tell her that Achillia, just keep it vague. She will rise like a phoenix, and and she'll be a goddess among men. But don't make any promises. And so Asher's like, what are we gonna do like until Achillia heals? If she heals, like we have to have a replacement champion. And so they're asking
another tournament arc.
Yeah, another tournament, a very short tournament though, because it only exists in this episode. So Asher tells Doctore to name a champion, and Doctore's like, I don't fucking know. And Asher's like, isn't it your fucking job to know who the best is?
I mean, he's not wrong.
He's not. Yeah, this is the point for Asher here.
Because Chorus is like, oh, well, which one do you prefer? And Asher's like, it's your fucking job to know.
They're all pretty much the same level of shit, except for like Gladiator and Kid Gladiator.
Yeah. So Chorus just says, hey, let's just have a tournament. We'll have another tournament, and whoever wins the tournament will be like the replacement champion until Achillia is better. And just as he's giving these orders, who's up on the deck looking down? It's Cornelia, it's Kosudia, and it is Viridia. And they're like, hey, we would like to stare at some dicks. And so they pick they pick Kid Gladiator and Kid Gladiator's two friends that are there with him.
They were gonna pick Gladiator.
Yeah.
But
oh yeah. What does Cornelia say? Let's pick something with like less season.
That's less season. Very
the dialogue in this show.
Yeah, that's very. Oh, you want bland and tasteless. Very white of you, I see.
Did you see like the look on Daddy-Ator's face when because he's like, oh sweet, I'm gonna get to show my dick in front of these hot women, and like, no, you're staying back. He's like, oh.
And it's specifically like, so everyone gets to pick one, and so like I think Cornelia picks one and Kosudia picks one, and Viridia at first, or they ask Viridia, who you want, and Viridia stares longingly at ASHUR, but of course she can't name ASHUR, so she picks Daddy-Ator, and then they tell her no, we're gonna get someone else. So we bounce back and forth between this scene with the ladies hanging out with the gladiators, but I'm just gonna cover it all now so I don't forget it. So they get the three gladiators in there and tells them to strip down so they can see their dicks. And then I don't remember, maybe it's Cornelia, but she's like, "Oh, ASHUR, I've heard stories of you too. Get naked." And Asher's like, "Need I remind you I am Dominus?" And Cornelia is like, "Need I remind you I'm Caesar's fucking wife?" And so so Asher's like, "Point Cornelia." And so Asher disrobes. We don't see Nick Terabay's dick, so he didn't have that.
He has
a
no dick clause in his contract.
No dick clause. And so before this, Cornelia says, "You were a gladiator too, right?" And this is where Asher went wrong, because he could have done his "I was the least of the Brotherhood," but he was like, "Oh yeah, I was a famous gladiator. My victories were legendary."
My 2 victories, I think.
Did he have any victories in the arena? I don't remember. I honestly don't remember. He lost.
This episode had the theme that runs through this is Asher's mouth gets him into a lot of trouble.
Yeah.
he says stuff throughout this episode that comes back to bite him in the ass.
He does a lot of monologuing.
Hubris is what they say. Hubris.
All right, so Cornelia calls him out of this and says, "Well, take your clothes off and let's see if you really are a legend." And she's like, you're coming up a little short." Wink. So she's saying that Asher's got a small dick. So Asher leaves, and Viridia follows.
Viridia was eyeballing him though.
Yeah.
Like Viridia's like, yeah.
Apparently he's got a nice enough prosthetic cock for her to enjoy.
Yeah. So Viridia is eyeing him, and so let's Viridia is like, the heat and wine are getting to me, so I'm just gonna leave and rest, and I'll come back later. And she goes and talks to Asher. I'm gonna come back to that in a minute because I want to finish what's going on with.
Goes up to Asher.
Let's finish this, Steve. Let's finish what's going on here.
Asher, like, "Yo, found your pics. You want some of mine?"
So the ladies are like, jerk it. Present yourself in more heroic form. And so the three gladiators start jerking it.
That's not the most heroic. Like, if it was the three of us having to jerk it in front of, like, Viva Bianca, that's not being very heroic of us.
That's just our duty, Ronan.
At that point, like,
if Viva Bianca's saying that this is what you must do, I guess.
I mean, we're gonna all three look at each other, shrug, go, all right.
I mean, like, and then we race.
I'm not making eye contact with either one of you guys. I'm not looking over.
You're doing it all wrong. Expect hard eye contact. So, aggressive eye contact.
The three gladiators are putting on a jerk show for Kosudia and Cornelia. And Cornelia takes this opportunity to go and finger blast Kosudia.
Yeah.
And while she's doing this, she's telling Kosudia, "Oh, I think Viridia should marry Caesar's buddy. What's his name?" And Kosudia's getting finger blasted. She's like, "Yeah, all right, that's a good idea."
Sure.
So
great. I will say that I was not sold on the actress Stephen DeKnight's wife playing Cornelia previously. She's deliciously evil in this. Like, she is so Roman in this episode. This was like her time to shine, and she delivered. So,
everything she does in this episode involves finger blasting eventually, and so
it works.
It works.
She's an evil Roman woman. She's got that Roman face too.
Yeah.
I'm just saying.
In between these scenes, because like Viridia leaves and talks to Asher for a while, and then we come back and Cornelia hatches the marriage plot. But let's talk about what Viridia's got going on with Asher. So Viridia goes over to Asher, is like, "Hey, between you and me, I thought your dick was just fine."
And she's like, "It was glorious. It was as what she says something funny, like it was as heroic.
As described. It was as something legendary as you said.
And Asher's like, "God damn." Yeah. And Asher at this point knows this chick wants me. Yeah. How am I going to parlay this into something?
he tries to like leave her. He's like, yeah, I'm going to get myself into fucking trouble if I keep hanging out with the senator's daughter that obviously
Yeah.
wants to fuck me. But Viridia's like, yeah, just let me hang out with you. I don't want to go back to my mom and Cornelia. I want to hang out with you. What's Achillia up to? Can I see Achillia? And so they go to see Achillia, and Achillia is Achillia is having like dreams the whole time, and we'll get to them later because it kind of like comes to a crescendo at the end of the episode. Um, but Verdia wants to see Achillia, and so they go, and the Medicus is yelling shit that no one can the Asher can't understand again.
He's like pulling, I'm assuming, maggots out of her hand.
He's trying to fix her hand. Like early on, they like sew the two halves of her hand back together, and then later on, he's like pulling shit out of the wound. But the Medicus, Asher and Viridia walk in, and the Medicus is like just yelling again. Do this, do this, do this, and Asher has no idea what he's saying. And
that's when he yells at him.
Yeah, but Viridia speaks Greek, and we find this out. And he's like, he's saying to grab the thing to put in her mouth so she doesn't bite her tongue off. And so they do that, and that shuts up Achillia for a while. And then Asher and Viridia have like.
All right. Geez, Steve.
That's what
one way to do it.
I mean, compassion for Achillia. She went through it. Shuts her up for a while.
Yeah. Loud bitch. God damn.
I didn't say any of that. I just said it shuts her up because she's screaming, and everything that I said is correct and true. So Asher and Viridia have like a talk, like a big heart to heart, and this is probably like their biggest scene so far. And Viridia reveals that yes, she loved her husband, but it was an arranged marriage. It's like, I was basically like given to him as a prop, and yeah, he was nice, he was kind to me, he was loving, but I'm realizing I didn't actually have any say into this. I was a commodity essentially sold to him for so either
expected
him or
just
I
to bear children.
Yeah,
and, be a prop.
I was going to be just a prop in this man's life. And what is leading her to this realization is Asher presented Achillia in the arena or whatever, this little tiny fighting pit that they have. And Viridia's like, you are saying fuck tradition. Maybe I should say fuck tradition too. And so Asher, noted feminist and progressive motherfucker, is like inspiring women in House of Asher.
Always been called the most woke character.
Problematic.
He's always been the most woke character, even from the early seasons. Groundbreaking,
really. I loved the scene between them, and there's just something fucking stupid but also wonderful about a woman going to Asher and be like, you inspire me to be a better person. It's great. I loved every part of this scene.
Like Nick Terry's probably like, let me just not tell you anything about my past.
Yeah,
like I'm not going to say a word. We're never going to talk about where this is for our lives start from this point moving forward. I'm a good dude now. I've absolved. But he goes, well, we'll talk about the gods and all that.
And then like later on, so after this wraps up, we see this great scene of Asher. Asher's just walking around his villa, and he's just staring off the sky.
He's feeling good.
He's feeling great, and he and Chorus make up. They admit that they said some harsh words when they were both upset, but
I love how they both of them, like every time they have a fight, whatever, they get back, like they're like, I still don't like you. I still don't like you either. Bro hug.
It's great. I love their relationship. I feel like their relationship is going to deteriorate significantly after this episode, but we'll see. So Asher, gives Chorus praise for being the one to train Achillia. They make up, and Chorus is like, "Oh, cool. If you don't need anything, is it okay if I leave for a personal matter?" And Asher's like, "Fuck yeah, get that dick."
You get that thing, young blood. You get that thing.
You deserve it.
And so Chorus leaves. Chorus leaves to meet Opiter, and Chorus gives Opiter his necklace. Chorus has had this necklace on the whole time, and like attention's never been called to it, but he's been wearing it like in every episode. And he gives it to Opiter, and he's like, as soon as I earned my freedom, I just went and bought the first like knick-knack that I saw, because that was a symbol that I am a free person now. I can just go out and engage in commerce
That's
whenever
like
I want.
his Corvette or something, right? Midlife, like, hey, I'm just gonna go blow up, because he says it cost a lot of money, whatever this thing is. So I was just like, oh yeah. First thing, he buys a brand new expensive house or something when you're free guy and got that money.
Yep.
Like this episode gave me the feels, gentlemen, and we're
I'm
gonna
going to
get
buy
to
a
why.
Cybertruck.
And I'm going to say, before we get into a sort of like the whole Opiter storyline, I was wrong, because this show, I'm like, is there something going on with Opiter here? Is Opiter gonna be like playing both sides here? No. No, Opiter's just a good dude who's living in a bad time.
So Chorus goes to Opiter and gives him the necklace, and Opiter tries to get Chorus to leave. And at some point, he says something like, "Look, no offense, but you're fucking old. You're old enough that like every day is a blessing for you. You really you can die at any time. Do you really want to keep working for ASHUR?" And ASHUR, and Chorus tells Opiter, "It's like, look, I would love to leave with you, but I've seen how ASHUR responds to loss. Like, if I leave with you, even though I'm technically a free man and I have the right to leave with you, ASHUR might just come and kill you just out of vengeance for taking me away." And so Opiter has this idea. He's like, well, I'm not going to need this villa anymore because I'm leaving. What if I just give ASHUR all of my holdings, all of my everything that's in Capua, and in exchange, you, Chorus, come with me, and that's the end of it. Like that,
that also includes his Ludus and all of his gladiators.
Yeah.
So he will get everything, and in exchange, just let Chorus leave, and we'll be good.
Opiter's just in love.
Yeah,
and he doesn't give a shit about materialism. He's just like, look, can I just go live happily ever after in Sicilia with the man stud Chorus, and just let Caesar and all them just leave me alone? That's all the man wants to do.
And so the next day, Chorus and Opiter present this plan to ASHUR. ASHUR's just like, fuck you both. He is offended that this is happening. He's angry that he recognizes that Chorus is a free man, but also, he expected loyalty. And ASHUR's like, yeah, he's a free man. He can do whatever the fuck he wants. And everyone's kind of like, we know you're going to kill us if we try that. Like they're not believing this whatsoever. But ASHUR's like, you know what? Fuck it. I'll think about it, okay? I'll fucking think about it, and that is the best offer you're going to get from me right now.
I love when he's like, Opera, get the fuck out of my house.
It's like, Doctor, you still have a job to do. Go do it.
Go tend to the men.
You from my fucking sight.
Yeah.
So after this happens, ASHUR is very upset. He goes out to inspect his men, and Cornelia comes up. He's like, "Hey, ASHUR, my pet Syrian, I'm going to tell you. I'm ordering you to go to Gabinius and tell Gabinius to allow Viridia to marry Caesar's guy." And ASHUR at first is like, "Does Viridia actually like this guy?" Like ASHUR's like caught. He's hurt a little bit by this. Does Viridia say she wants to marry this guy?
Noted feminist,
Yeah.
This independent, strong woman, you're not letting her make her own decisions here?
And Cornelia is like,
I kind of wanted to buy her. God damn it.
Cornelia says Viridia doesn't get a say. It's like, women don't desire marriage. Marriages desire women. So we're just going to once again marry Viridia off like a prop to one of Caesar's men, and presumably that will be, that will further align Gabinius with Crassus and Caesar and against Pompey.
We forgot to mention when ASHUR and Viridia are talking initially, they start to kind of go in for a kiss, and then it gets interrupted. So I think at this point, ASHUR's like, this girl's going to be mine. Like he knows he's gonna manipulate some way. He's like, this girl wants me. I'm gonna scheme my way into making all this happen.
Yeah, so
he doesn't even have to scheme.
He doesn't have to scheme with Viridia. He's got to scheme against all the other people that wouldn't want them to get married.
But
like mom.
Yeah, mom's not going.
Yeah, and maybe hopefully this will help him get his juice back because so far, currently in the season, he's only done like one good scheming, and
Oh,
like yeah,
oh no! At the end of this episode, there is a scheme in place, motherfucker, and
well,
I
well, I would hope so because again, like yeah, like we get to the scene, but like I'm just saying, like up until this point, Asher doesn't seem to have been motivated to really, like running a ludus and doing all the stuff. This is not what Asher is good at. What Asher is good at, what Asher is really good at, and what if he had enough pride to just admit it, is being like a shadow kind of broker guy. And that's really kind of, yeah, in hindsight, if like Crassus and Caesar were smart, they would have kept him around to do that kind of shit from the shadows because that's what Asher is real fucking good at. And
well,
like he hasn't had a chance to do that in the show named
but he
after him.
doesn't want to. I keep saying, like, I think Asher, like, he might not be good at running a ludus, but running the ludus is genuinely what he wanted. Like, he failed as a gladiator himself. He wants to show that he can produce gladiators now. I still think that if the Romans would stop being dickbags to Asher, he would get along with them, or at least, not need to
He
find a
wouldn't have
reason
to
to kill
scheme
them.
against them.
Anyways, I think a scheme is being hashed at the end of this episode. Maybe you'll agree with me, maybe we won't, but we'll get there in a moment. Cornelia tells Asher, go to Gabinius, tell Gabinius that Viridia is going to marry Caesar's friend. And so Asher goes to Gabinius, and they catch up, and Asher just kind of comes out with it's like, look, I've been the first they talk about like what just a fucking demon Cornelia is, which is hilarious.
They get along so well.
But
I
yeah,
like their dynamic.
yeah, Gabinius and Asher, I think, are bonding a little bit in this moment. But Asher tells him, like, look, Cornelia told me to come here and tell you that Verdia needs to marry Caesar's friend. And first Gabinius asks him, like, and do you think Crassus is behind this? And Asher doesn't really say yes or no, but he tells him, I don't think anyone can make Julius Caesar do anything. So if Caesar is
Yeah.
saying to do this, it's because Caesar wants it to happen.
I
And
actually like this because that historically the Julius Caesar was scheming against all of these people to obtain power. And so I actually like that this show where in that moment where Asher like game recognizes game where he's kind of like I know Caesar's got his own thing going, like there are bigger plans, like he's got he's gonna fucking try to take over overthrow the republic is what this guy's gonna try
mhm.
to do eventually, and Asher recognizes it, which I think is kind of cool in this sequence.
Yeah. So uh, Gabinius tells Asher, like, look, just talk to me, give it to me straight. Like, if you weren't beholden to Caesar or Crassus, what would you tell me to do with Viridia? And Asher tells him, I would not, I would turn down the marriage. I would not let Viridia be used as a pawn in Caesar's game. They also talk about how both Gabinius and Asher think the gods are fucking stupid and they suck, but they appreciate that Viridia still has this innocence about the gods.
That's also a theme through this early on when Asher, because the whole thing was with Achillea, and there's a moment early on. It's like, "Well, you want to pray?" And Asher's like, "I don't fucking pray to the gods." Or he's like, "Oh, she's on her own."
She's like, do you blaspheme?
Yeah, you
Yeah,
blasphemer. And I was like, fucking gods, they do nothing for me. They do nothing at all."
Asher does try to level with her too, and that thing was like, I mean, look, honestly, I speak from experience. And yeah, unlike pushy people in today's era, like she does kind of take, oh well, okay. She just kind of like tries to learn more about his pain rather than just tell him, no, 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 this book is the way. But
Yeah.
yeah, continue.
And he
yeah. So
mentions the Syrian gods too. He's like, "I pray to the Syrian gods, my home country,"
yeah,
and
because
they
he
did
goes
nothing.
he has this little speech about how he used to have a sister, and the sister was very godly, but presumably he hasn't seen his sister since he was kidnapped and sold into slavery. But so after Asher and Gabinius have come to an agreement. They're like, look, we're not going to go along with Caesar's plan for Viridia. They talk about how great Viridia is, and then Gabinius is like, well, it's Asher, let me. It's like he's encouraging Asher at this point. It's like, Asher, where you gotta get your own house in order. You gotta take advantage of opportunities. And Asher's like, huh. Speaking of opportunities, yeah, I do have a chance to earn an entire villa and another ludus. Yeah, I'm gonna follow up on that. And so they part ways, and I think
Inspired by Gabinius.
yes,
I like the way that these two guys get along together.
Yeah,
Yeah, it didn't. It didn't. They weren't getting
I like
along
the
for a
scene.
while, but yeah, it's cool. Like what's great about this show, and all of the seasons of Spartacus is just watching relationships develop where people hate each other, but then it's like, but I grudgingly respect you, you son of a bitch.
Yeah.
And so it's just fun to see that sort of interplay between the
Yeah,
characters.
Gabinius has recognized that ASHUR knows how to play this game, and ASHUR is good at this game. And so, like you said, game respects game, and also like Gabinius, because I think Gabinius recognizes that because ASHUR isn't willing to just support this bullshit marriage for his daughter, Gabinius is like, you know what, ASHUR, you're all right.
I like the cut of your jib.
Yeah, and so they part ways. And now ASHUR is inspired to presumably accept this deal from Operator. And so it's like the next day, or maybe it's the same day, I don't know. But ASHUR's hanging out.
He's going home. He's walking through the streets on his way home, and then all the little children are like, "Asher, Asher, tell us about Achilles. When will we see her?"
Yeah,
And he is so
props.
fucking happy about this. Like, this makes it. For once in his life, he's starting to win now. He's like, "Oh, this is great. People like me."
Aside from the fact that his champion is actively dying, it's been a good day for ASHUR. And so ASHUR is, all of the people in the street are lauding him. They want to see Achilles, and he's hyping her up against like, yes, Achilles will return to the sands. And then here come Proculus and the Ferox brothers, and they shit all over ASHUR. And ASHUR's, mocking the Ferox brothers, and then Proculus sends them away to run an errand. And Proculus is like,
ASHUR's does not have Chorus there to like back him up either. Like ASHUR, because when I was watching that scene, I'm like, normally Chorus is there as this kind of like bodyguard, but ASHUR's just talking shit to these like very successful gladiators.
If he had a sword on him, it would make sense. But he's unarmed too. So, like, hypothetically, if they did just go at him, he's fucked.
Yeah, I mean, it's again his mouth. His mouth this episode gets him into a lot of trouble.
Oh, yeah, it's about
so Proculus says, ASHUR, I need to talk to you. And Proculus says, hey, look, you've everyone in Capua now is now Team ASHUR, Team Achilles. How about we do a little business? Like, in the upcoming games, I will pick my shitty gladiators to fight Achilles. Achilles will win. Like both, presumably, like we'll all bet on Achilles and make tons of money. We're gonna have some fixed fights for Achilles. And ASHUR tells him, "Go fuck yourself." And then ASHUR, this is
extend jaw and swallow cock. Unhinged jaw and swallow cock.
And ASHUR has another great line for that. He's like, "Oh, you've been treating me like shit for so long, and now that I've got to kill you, I'm supposed to accept your blessed golden shower or something like that." ASHUR's incredible in this, but so ASHUR just tells Proculus about his the deal with Operator. He tells Proculus, he's like, because Proculus is kind of like still telling him, yeah, you're just you're still small time compared to me, Proculus. And ASHUR's like, oh well, tomorrow I'm gonna be big time because I'm gonna have my ludus, I'm gonna have Operator's ludus, I'm gonna have all Operator's people, I'm gonna have Operator's villa. You are gonna be so far beneath me. Just ASHUR spills everything. Question for you guys. I just want we'll talk about this in depth later. Is this ASHUR monologuing or is this ASHUR scheming? Because I think it's scheming, and I just want to know, like, what do you think? Scheme
at
or
this
monologue?
At this moment, like, in a syndrome way, it's like, no, I don't think he's scheming right now. I think he's just monologuing. He's feeling too good about himself. His crush just sent him like, a heart emoji and like a unicorn emoji, and he doesn't quite know what it means, but he knows it makes him feel good. He won a number one in a Port Royale battery. He's feeling great, and like, so he's just spouting shit. No, he's just monologuing.
Matt, monologue or scheme?
So, completely honest, I'm going to be on Ronan's side here because I thought, like, as I was watching this was a monologue. He's feeling full of himself, and this will be the point, because I was like, something horrible is going to happen to him, and this is what's going to cause him to turn and become the Asher that we, he's on cloud 9, and he's going to make that dramatic fall from hubris, and that's going to cause him to sort of,
All right.
turn back to Asher. So, I mean, how did you take it?
I
Then?
think it's a scheme, but let me finish talking about this episode,
Yeah,
and
let's
then I
just
will
fan
explain.
Cook.
I will
Yeah.
explain why I think this is the scheme. So, Asher lays all this out. Just he monologues to Proculus and tells Proculus, like, look, you're gonna be like small time shit compared to me tomorrow. And so Asher returns home. The contest has continued to happen, and Daddy Gladiators won. And we haven't talked about the copy paste Gladiators because they don't matter. There's an ongoing dialogue between Daddy and Kid Gladiator about whose side is Daddy Gladiator on. Is he supporting Kid Gladiator, or is he on Team Achillia? And Daddy Gladiator has to keep putting in place and saying, I honor this fucking house, and that's the way it is.
Okay. So a couple episodes ago, Ronan said he was getting kind of really tired of just seeing like the same Achillia getting her ass kicked over and over and over. I am over Kid Gladiator and Daddy Gladiator bitching and moaning, and I'm done. Stop it. No more. I don't care. I don't want to see it. It feels like every episode we have to have them fight each other, and I'm done with that.
Yeah.
That's my only complaint.
Last episode we were saying is like, okay, we're making predictions of like Daddy Gladiator is probably going to die in the arena, and it's going to be Kid Gladiator's fault. The way that like what's about to happen in this next scene does seem to put an end to that theory, but the way that this episode ends, who knows? But we'll get to that.
All right, so ultimately, Daddy Gladiator wins, and Chorus is about to say, Daddy Gladiator, whose name is Calidus, Calidus, I name you champion of House Asher, and Asher's like, wait a minute, no. Kid Gladiator, Tarkon, you're actually champion of House Asher, and you, Calidus, Daddy Gladiator, you are now the new Doctori. And earlier in the episode, like Chorus had pitched to Asher, like, look, if I leave, Daddy Gladiator is your new Doctor. He's the only one qualified. And so Asher and Chorus...
Literally the only one with any talent.
Literally the only good gladiator you got outside
think of it. Think of how, back in episode 1, think of how easily Asher killed Round Boy. And presumably, and Chorus tells Asher that Round Boy was better than all the other gladiators. So
the best one.
These are
by a significant margin.
These are all lesser gladiators than supposedly the best gladiator that Asher killed with a jug of wine. So these gladiators fucking suck.
They do. Awful.
So anyways, and so Asher and Chorus share a look. And so Chorus is really like, Chorus recognizes what happened. Like, Asher would not name a new Doctori unless Chorus is no longer needed. And so Chorus
love you, bro.
Chorus is going to be free to leave and go off with Operator, and Asher is gonna run forward with Daddy Gladiator being the new Doctore. And so Chorus is getting ready to leave, and Ash says, one more thing. Before you leave, I want you to do one more thing for me. I want you to come and pray with me over Achillia. And so they do. And so let's talk about what's been going on with Achillia this time. She's been laying in, she's obviously been laying in bed in pain as the Medicus is trying to save her. But all throughout the episode, she's been having flashbacks, and we still don't know the full story. But she is in a village somewhere, and the village is under attack, and she's killing people. We see what happened to her hand. Someone's got like a whip with like barbs
she
on
catches a whip in her hand or something.
The whip gets yanked away, and it tears all the skin off her hand. But there's a girl that is screaming and trying to reach out to Achillia, and Achillia is trying to save her. But as she's being dragged away, Achillia grabs a spear, and she launches it at the kidnappers. But the kidnappers move, and Achillia ends up killing the girl that Achillia was trying to save.
And the kidnapper.
And the kidnappers. Like the spear goes through there.
Straight
through. And so we still don't know who these characters are, but they're
Achillia. Be a daughter, right? Daughter
maybe,
or sister or something.
Yeah, someone important.
Yeah, someone important to Achillia was accidentally killed by Achillia while their town or whatever they were in was under attack. But as Asher and Chorus are praying, Achilea wakes up. Like she's out of that top tier Capula penicillin knocked out the infection that she had. Achillea's going to make it. While that's going
Well,
on,
like when she wakes up, she's like, "I'm alive."
yeah,
Yes, you
sure
are.
fucking are.
I also love the fact that before when they first go in there, because Chorus is like shocked that Asher's like, "Pray with me, bro." He's like, "You know what? And they bring a goat out. They slaughter the goat to the gods, and they're sitting there like Asher's on his knees holding her hand, and I don't think Chorus really says anything, does he? He's just kind of like
No, he's
watching
just
as
kind of
Asher's
there while Asher's, I'm assuming, praying to like his gods and not the Roman gods.
yeah
Yeah, he's speaking in the Syrian language because
Syrian.
Yeah,
he's
it's an
not
Arab
speaking the
language of
common
some
tongue.
sort. I'm not smart enough to tell what language
Yeah.
he's speaking, but it's
So anyway,
Arabic of some sort.
Achillea wakes up and it's good days in the house of Asher, but then we cut over to Opiter's place and
Oh,
everyone is Opiter's running around. He's like, hey, various slaves are out there. I would like someone to
okay.
feed.
Wait. When I watched this scene, I was like, dude, this just feels ominous. Lightning's flashing. There's no light anywhere. There's no torches. There's no nothing. He's walking in the dark. It's dead quiet. I'm just like, oh no.
At
Oh
that moment, I'm
no.
like, at
Oh
that moment, you're
no!
like, oh, he's a dead man.
Yeah,
Yeah,
you
I was
know
like,
it.
no,
You
not Operator,
absolutely know it.
Yeah,
because
I was like, exactly like in the marketplace scene where the pirates attack, where it's like, the old woman gets hit in the head. I was like, oh, well, I've been doing pretty good about making calls of, okay, well, this is going to happen, that's going to happen. I've been talking about, I didn't see this one coming.
well,
Comes
that's the thing. Operator, he's such a good dude. Like this episode solidifies that he's a good dude and puts all those like theories I had wrestling, because you never know who's scheming against each other in this show. And so I'm like, is Operator just being really nice because he's got some sort of plan? No, he's just a good fucking dude. Probably the only good dude in the whole show. And he's about to learn what it's like to be a good dude in Capua.
So, all right. So the Opiter is running around. And he's like, "Hey, slaves, someone feed me before we leave." But he's
I just say
walking.
he's a good dude. Steve's like, slaves, feed me.
So he's walking around his villa and he finds everyone dead. And then I loved how this was filmed like a horror movie. Like
Oh
you see the
yeah, it's
shadows of the
cool.
Ferox brothers like running around, and Opiter's like, "Look, I'll give you everything I have. Just let me live." And the Ferox brothers basically say, you don't have anything. Like your life specifically your life is what we have come for. And so the Ferox brothers kill Opiter, and that's where the episode ends. Before we talk about anything else, let me explain
Well,
why I
it
think.
doesn't quite end right there.
Where does it quite? All right,
That's not
where
the
does it
end.
end? Oh,
So it's
Chorus and Asher are
Yeah,
leaving.
of course, and Asher have their bro moment where it's like, they're about to walk out, and Asher's looking at Chorus, and he's like, "I still don't care for you." And Chorus looks at him and is like, "I don't care for you either." And
yeah,
they're having that little man respect thing where it's
yeah.
like, "Yeah, you know what I mean. Yeah, I know it. Yeah, I got
Yeah.
you."
All the
They're having,
gladiators we don't care about are watching him as he slowly walks out of the ludus for the last time. Chorus turns around. He's got tears in his eyes because it's like, oh, he mentions earlier on in the episode how like he doesn't necessarily want to leave the ludus because that's what he does, right? Like the arena and gladiator stuff has been his entire life. And so I love that moment when he kind of turns back. But I will say, Steve, I did find it interesting that Asher was leaving with him. I assume that they're going to go and just hang out at Opiter's and be
well,
like,
he's
"Hey,
got to
give me your
file
shit, Opiter."
Yeah, he's
But
got to file paperwork, transfer things.
yeah,
There's Roman like bureaucracy to attend to.
okay,
Right.
okay. So
So let me
Steve's got a
explain
thing.
why I think this might be a scheme.
Okay,
I think Asher recognizes that Chorus is the key to Asher's success. Everything that has happened so far has been because Chorus is there to train people. I think there is a world where Asher decided that Chorus is more valuable than anything that Opiter could give him. And so when Asher met Proculus in the street, he was telling Proculus, it's like, look, I'm gonna get all Opiter shit, and it's gonna be fucking great. And Proculus, you're gonna fucking suck.
mm,
I think Asher threw that out there because he knew that then Proculus couldn't resist getting Operator out of the way. And so now ASHUR gets to keep Chorus without being the bad guy.
Do you think that, I mean, that theory relies on the fact that Proculus would have had, because he never mentions Chorus by name. He just says, "I have something better than money." That would assume that like ASHUR would have to know that Proculus would put two and two together to go
Yeah,
do that, right?
yeah. Most of the Romans are smart. And look, I could be wrong, but in the last episode we were like, we're ready for ASHUR to be the ASHUR of old.
Yeah,
I think this is potentially an opportunity for it to be the ASHUR of old. It could be that ASHUR was just caught up in the moment and he was monologuing. But if ASHUR decided I need to keep Chorus at all costs, certainly things have worked out for him here because
interesting,
presumably Chorus isn't going to leave now. I could be
interesting.
completely
It's
wrong. I also
it,
think it's important that Chorus gave Operator the necklace because I wonder if they're going to try to someone's going to try to frame Chorus now.
See, I thought that the main Ferox brother was
Oh,
going
he
to take it
took it as a
as a
trinket.
trophy or
Yes.
whatever. That's
they
what I
do
thought.
mention when Asher and not Chorus, Proculus meet up in the market. He has the little troll guys go off to collect.
Little troll guys?
Yeah, he tells them to go off and collect some debts that are owed to him. Oh, go get the money that such and such owes me. It's like, what happens if he doesn't have it? Like, oh well, you get to keep another trophy. Setting up the possibility that they could take that necklace. Yeah, it has a trophy.
Rhoda, you have a way with words, Fred.
I don't know if it's a good way with words. Anyways,
Problematic way with words.
I could be completely wrong. It could be that ASHUR just got caught monologuing. It could also be ASHUR recognized an opportunity to keep Chorus around and he took it.
I
It's a
think that's
good
cool.
theory.
Yeah,
I'm
I like the
sticking with
theory.
mine, but I'm gonna let you have it. But I'm
Yeah,
staying with mine.
yeah. I'm still leaning towards Ronan. I think if he would have name dropped Chorus in that market, oh, I'm just going to give because, well, I guess
Yeah,
Proculus did know that Proculus did watch Operator
Yeah, he did
giving
see them
Chorus
giving
a
each
hand
other a
job.
handy.
So I
but
Yeah,
guess that would
yeah,
mean two. He could put two and two
but
together
I
because then
don't.
he would know. Yeah,
If this is actually a scheme, I don't think ASHUR needs to mention Chorus. All ASHUR needs to say is Operator is going to give me all your shit. All Operator is going to give me all his shit, and then Proculus needs to know. Proculus knows I need to kill Operator now before the transfer happens. There's no
see,
reason for.
I don't think that works because Proculus has that line when ASHUR says that to him and is walking away. Proculus is like, "You'd have to have as much money as Crassus to have that, and you don't have that much money."
I don't know.
So
I could be wrong.
no, that
I
it's
want
a
it to
good
be a
theory.
scheme. I want it to be a scheme because then yeah, it would be
If it's
ASHUR. The old ASHUR is coming back. Uh, but hey, maybe he just got caught monologue. I think it would be
if
less
this is
interesting if ASHUR just got caught monologuing.
if it's not a scheme, then odds are I would strongly think that this is going to lead to him scheming come the next episode
yeah,
because
that's what I'm kind of at.
yeah, because now he's got a reason. Like he suspected that Proculus like several episodes ago tried to kill Chorus in the market, but they like that wasn't him, and apparently that I'm certain that's going to come back at some point. but
One more thing that I forgot to mention. ASHUR, do we really believe that ASHUR suddenly cared about the gods at the end, or was that prayer service ASHUR's way to keep Chorus away from Operator, while when ASHUR suspected an attack was going to happen?
Oh, interesting.
uh, you know, uh,
That's actually good. See,
Like,
I
does it? I don't know, if only because, like, he's starting to he's definitely catching the feels for, Senator's daughter, and she was, cooking up the god stuff in
she
him, and
is into the gods.
and
Yeah,
he's like, "You know what? I'm gonna try it," because like he's trying, he's like, I'm gonna, maybe I'm gonna try this whole god thing out after I'll see what it gets me. I'm like, at the very least, the writers wrote enough stuff in this episode that you can take it either way.
yeah.
It
Well, it's
mi
good because it makes you think like, where the hell is the story going to go? And that's when the best Spartacus writing occurs. Is when you're
Well,
like, where is the story going to go?
I am on Team Scheme, and I'm hoping
Leave a
that
comment
plays
down
off.
below, folks. Are you on Team Scheme or
Team
Team
Monologue.
Monologue? Leave a comment down below. Let us know. Give us that engagement. We appreciate it.
Anyways, fantastic episode. This might be my favorite of the series so far.
I was going to ask you. We have talked about in the past with the original Spartacus show that the gods are never like specifically like the gods are influencing things, but this episode was very sort of like, could the gods actually be doing something? Like he's actually praying and then boom, she wakes up. The Viridia is talking about the gods and praying and all that stuff. Do you think that this was laying any sort of ground cover for it? Maybe there's some god stuff in.
Well, the first episode had that whole like Lucy Lawless thing. Was like, oh well, the Fates actually had this in mind for you.
Yeah.
Which I mean, maybe it is. I was me when I watched that. Like that's the first thing you can watch that. You can see the thoughts, and I'll just I just kind of put that whole thing off as like some Stars executives are like, I don't know, the stupid people aren't going to understand that this is a what if story. What if we need a scene to really explain to them? So, but yeah, like this could also just be like, coincidence, because like in the original Spartacus show, like, Spartacus's wife is kind of known to be something of like, a seer of she had the visions of like the red serpent, and that motif kept up through parts of the show. Not obviously not as strong as like, praying and then like, a gladiator suddenly waking up.
Yeah.
But
in the first season, you also had Spartacus killing Theocles to stop, and then the drought
then it started
immediately
raining.
ends.
Bringer of rain.
So I think more and more I wish we hadn't had that Lucy Lawless scene, because then we could have kind of like, well, this is just as ambiguous as the original series. It could be the gods, it could be coincidence. Since they had this whole scene in the underworld, I don't think that they're actually going to introduce gods into this series whatsoever. But certainly,
no, I don't think they'll introduce like Jupiter or something. Like, here's my cock. I mean, I'm not saying that, but I'm just saying like, are the gods like an actual real thing that move events in the show?
I think we have to. I if not for the Lucy Lawless scene, I say it could go either way. But since we had a scene in the underworld, I think we have to accept that, unless we're meant to dismiss that Lucy Lawless scene as a one-off, that they
unless it turns out like, didn't you have a theory where it's like his head's lopped off, whatever, and it's like a weird, just sort of
his dying
vision.
I know. For whatever reason, like my original idea for this series was going to be, whenever it ends, the camera's going to pull way back, and like the series is coming out of the eye of Ashur's severed head as it
falls to the ground.
But it's just, it's his head's dying dream. But I don't know, like that Lucy Lawless scene like really altered the way that I see this. I wish that scene wasn't there. I think because it's there, like if you told me that you think gods are influencing things in this show, I couldn't really argue with you, since we've explicitly seen the underworld now.
So I've only come across one other YouTube, like large finger quotes YouTube channel that discusses the Spartacus show.
Fuck them.
And he does have an episode on the first 2 episodes of the ASHUR show. I was watching them at work because I don't have fuck all to do at work.
Please tell me you did not like and subscribe to that YouTuber.
No, but he had he's got he has a wild take, and since we're back on the first episode, I think I'll throw this out there. I'm 100% like, no, bro, you're grasping at straws real heavy. But this does go into Steve's most favoriteest thing. This guy is under the impression that this is a multiverse scenario where the gods have pulled Ashur out of that body and into the body of another Ashur.
Oh no!
God, no, please, no.
I kid. Send me that video, Ronan. I'll link it in the description below. So if any of our listeners want to go check out this wild multiverse theory, we'll be happy to.
I was watching that episode when it premiered, because I just so happened to be on my little Chromebook just as it popped. It premiered, and I started watching it, and like I'm sort of like, you're really grasping at straws for this, my guy. But his like all of his criticism stemmed from the fact that, like, as far as he's concerned now, this whole show is a multiverse setup. And I'm like,
well, we haven't really seen that yet.
I haven't seen no evidence to it
To
whatsoever.
to your point, I jump on YouTube and just kind of try to find videos of people talking about the show. Like nobody's talking about this show at all, which makes me very, very worried it's not going to get a season two. Because I googled like ratings. Is the stars like say, hey, this show's so fucking awesome, we're just gonna greenlight a season two. um, I've heard there's been radio silence. I went to Stephen Knight's Twitter and was just kind of looking at stuff, and there was some sort of comment where someone's like, "I'm just going to binge watch this whole thing after it's over," and he's like,
Yeah, I saw that, and he's
"Please
like, "Please
don't do
don't."
that.
That
Watch it
fucks
week
up.
to week."
Yeah, that
Like
fucks up the view count. You really need to watch it episode to episode. And I'm like, huh, I
we're
didn't think about that, but
we're doing our part, Stephen
yeah,
Knight. We are doing our part and trying to
And we
spread the gospel.
appreciate the part that your wife is doing.
Oh, she's fantastic. She's fantastic. Healthy. Very, very healthy. So, Ronan, overall, your thoughts on this episode? What did you like it? What did you think?
well, this episode's great. This is another solid banger. This would definitely. I'm not going to say it's my favorite episode thus far because again, the show's not over yet, and time will tell. Once the show's been out, you can rewatch it a bit. You can better adjust how the episodes are going to go. But this is definitely, well, it wasn't the last episode. I think it was the episode before that where we were like that. That's an A. All of us gave that episode an A, and I'll give this one an A as well. This is that kind of, this is one of those good, this is that good episode of Spartacus where okay, this is the one where things start to finally ramp up. We are now
Yeah.
moving towards the end game because there's like 4 episodes left. So we're like, the train is now moving out of the station.
There's only 4 episodes left. Ugh.
It
Steve,
hurts.
your thoughts on this episode?
Loved it. My favorite episode so far, A plus. It could only be though because maybe I'm reading a scheme into things where there is no scheme. So if it turns out, I would be disappointed if ASHUR was just monologuing. Maybe that would maybe I have hyped myself up too much because I think a scheme is coming. But as of this moment, I loved it. If it
I
turns
believe
out
schemes are coming, Steve.
if it turns out ASHUR was just monologuing, maybe I like it slightly less. But I was hooked from start to finish on this episode.
Yeah. Yeah. I love this episode. It's hard for me to rate whether I like last episode better than this one.
Last
I think.
episode had like the 3 hour scene where they were at the party.
Yeah.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah, it's true. So yeah, this one's got to be better than that.
Yeah.
It's got to be better. So I'm going to give it this one an A as well. I see you're starting to pull me towards your. Now that I'm thinking more about it, I'm like he's going to be multiple steps ahead of people we just haven't seen, and maybe he's letting himself be emasculated by all these people. Like something's got to happen. Now there was an article I posted it. Nick Terribay said the last line of this show is going to make everybody want a season two,
It's
which
going to
makes me wonder.
reveal the Spartacus multiverse.
It's yeah.
Well,
Stephen
Spartacus, why are you here?
Stephen Knight said
Credits.
he's got all kinds of different spin-off shows that he wants to do of
Yeah,
this.
and that is fine as long as they don't ever actually like interconnect. And we've got to be like, oh, is this ASHUR from House of ASHUR or ASHUR from Spartacus? Oh, is that ASHUR 1 or is that ASHUR 38?
Yeah.
As long as that doesn't happen, I can live with it.
Give me the Caesar show with the original Caesar guy.
We're never getting him back.
We
We're
will.
getting sketchy Caesar forever if we ever get him again.
Oh man, I did look at some because I joined some of Facebook groups, just Spartacus fan pages, just to get an idea. Nobody seems to like that guy playing Caesar. Like
So he's doing a
nobody.
good job. He's doing his part.
He's doing a good
he
job, but I
sounds like
think
he
everybody
sounds
loves
like a
the
good
original
bad guy.
version. Yeah. But yeah, love this episode. Fantastic. Hit that like and subscribe if this is your first time here on Jupiter's Crock. We have playlists we covered the first 4 seasons of Spartacus, Gods of the Arena, then Blood and Sand, Vengeance, War of the Damned. So we have audio
Rome,
sort
which
of
is
podcast.
which is definitely in
Don't tell them
continuity.
about that show. We're trying to keep these people watching, and you're going to try
Yeah.
and turn them away.
Nobody cares about us going through the series of Rome. But if you do like the Spartacus content, we have tons of Spartacus content. I'll link all of the playlists down below. I think Steve even put them together as like, here's 12 hours of us just talking about all of Spartacus. So if you're at work or something, you're just like, I'm going to press play and give them 12 watch hours. So
You
that'd
might
be
randomly
fantastic.
hear us talking about a hand of poker.
Yeah, for sure. But yeah, hit that like and subscribe. We'll be back next Friday with another episode. I guess episode 7 of House of Asher. Take it easy. Scheme, team monologue. Leave a comment below.